Today we will be learning how to convert between percent, fractions, and decimals. Remember that as we go through these notes, as you watch this video, you should be filling out the notes that I gave you during class. As we talked about during class today, percent means per hundred or out of 100. So for example, if you have 8%, that means 8 out of 100. Here are the rules on how to convert from a percent to a fraction. Step 1. Write the number as a fraction over 100. Using my last example, if we start with 8%, I would write 8 over 100. You'll notice that I did not write the percent sign because, again, we're going to fraction, so we don't need the percent symbol anymore. Next, we're going to reduce the fraction using the greatest common factor. The greatest common factor between 8 and 100 is 4. So I'm going to divide the top and the bottom by 4. And my final answer is 2 over 25. Now it's your turn. Try writing 20% as a fraction. While you do this in your notes, please press pause until you're ready to check your answer. Alright, hopefully you wrote the correct answer. So when we start with step 1, it says write the number as a fraction over 100. So my first step will be to write 20 over 100. I'm not done yet though because I need to divide by the greatest common factor. In this case, the greatest common factor is 20. So I need to divide the top and the bottom by 20. When I do that, I find my final answer, which is 1/6. Make sure that you have this correct answer in your notes. If you don't, take a moment to write it out now. The next concept we're going to learn about is converting a decimal to a percent. Step 1 is to write the decimal as a fraction. You can see in example 1 I have 0.759. Well, how would I write that as a fraction? The first thing you need to think about is the fact that this isn't actually pronounced 0.759. It's actually pronounced 759 thousandths with a TH at the end. Remember, we've got our tenth place, hundredth place, thousandth place. Because this number is pronounced 759 thousandths, I'm able to write it as 759 over 1,000. The next step is to write an equivalent fraction with a denominator of, you guessed it, 100. Why would we be using a denominator of 100? You can recall that percents are always per hundred, so that's why we don't want a bottom of 1,000, but instead of 100. Now, this step isn't too tricky, but we do need to think about it a little bit. How would I get from 1,000 down to 100? If you said that we need to divide the top and the bottom by 10, you are correct. 1,000 divided by 10 will equal 100. Remember that if I do something to the bottom, I also need to do it to the top. So I divide the top by 10 and get 75.9, and I divide the bottom by 10 and get 100. From here, now I have 75.9 over 100, which can also be pronounced 75.9 per 100, which tells me that it is 75.9%. I want you to try the second example on your own. Convert 0.607 into a percent. Press pause while you work. Alright, let's check to make sure that you got the right answer. Using the first step, we need to write 0.607 as a fraction. Again, the 6 is in the tens place, the 0 is in the hundredths place, and the 7 is in the thousandths place. So we have 607 thousandths. Again, I'm going to need to divide by 10. The reason is because I want to get a denominator of 100. If I do that to the bottom, I need to do the same thing to the top. So 607 divided by 10 is 60.7, and 1000 divided by 10 is 100. Now it says 60.7 per 100, which is 60.7%. Now, let's see if we can find a pattern here. I had my original number, 0.759, and then I had my final answer, 75.9. You'll notice that these two numbers look very similar. So similar that we would have 75.9 if we were to move the decimal 2 spaces to the right. Now let's see if we can find that same pattern below. 0.607 and 60.7%. Again, if I move my decimal place 2 to the right, I get 60.7%. So a shortcut that you may have realized is to move the decimal place 2 spaces to the right. If we go back a slide, converting a percent to, Alright, we will pick the rest up during class tomorrow, so there's no need to fill out the rest of the notes. Have a great night.